Starting today, I'll be a part of TSM, playing for them in 2016.
TSM have so much talent there. Doublelift should be successful, but now he's on a team where, look, the mid laner is actually probably almost more important than you. Is this going to work out, TSM, with two big carries in the roster now?
Yeah, I mean, that is kind of the big question. You always see teams where they try and put together a lot of star power and they're not exactly sure if they can work.
You won the summer split with CLG. You moved to TSM, doesn't go so well. You finished 6th in the regular season.
The whole time I was kind of like, ugh, I could have done so much more. And that was really motivating, especially for me and Bjergsen, to kind of like take more charge this split.
This is the time that if TSM can perform here how they have all split, they'd solidify themselves as the best team that North America has ever had.
When you pair them up against C9, their team is also extremely well-rounded.
And we see just how scary they are. Even from the beginning of this split, TSM, their #1 concern has been Cloud9 is really good.
And suddenly C9 taking a little bit too slowly. Smoothie burning down. Hanser stays alive as well. Merlin helping certainly a little bit here. Bjergsen burning down. He's going to lose his life. That's it! As they go. And game 1 goes to Cloud9. Now into the back line. Hanser dodging what he can, but Impact is certainly scary. Flash for the chase. A snipe from Sneaky. And now Bjergsen getting chain CC. The pool is on cooldown. A few more hits will do it. The house comes down. And a shutdown is in.
Doublelift is super low.
They've got Bjergsen, and they shut him down with a 1600 damage crit.
Can they get double?
Low. Medios, another knockup, trades his life, but it's down.
Doublelift!
Gets the GA. Double
killing them all.
Kills everybody. They've got 3. Impact goes down, and A's for TSM.
When all looks lost, a hero needs to step up. And one legendary outplay was all it took for Doublelift to remind everyone that he was that hero. After spending almost his entire career with Counter Logic Gaming, struggling to win, Doublelift finally lifted the LCS trophy in summer 2015. But then, surprising everyone, Doublelift left CLG amid internal issues, and shocked everyone by joining one of their biggest rivals.
Starting today, I'll be a part of TSM, playing for them in 2016. So I know this is really shocking news.
With Bjergsen by his side, Doublelift wanted to take the next step and finally compete at an international level with TSM. They even brought in Svenskeren and Yellowstar from the EU LCS. On paper, this roster had the firepower to dominate NA.
TSM have so much talent there. Doublelift should be successful, but now he's on a team where, look, the mid laner is actually probably almost more important than you. And yet here's Bjergsen on our team where finding the AD carry is really important as well. And figuring out how those two interact is going to be very important for TSM.
But when the season got underway, TSM looked disjointed. They were losing to middle-of-the-pack teams, and although they finally started to find their form in time for playoffs, it still wasn't enough. Despite taking CLG to 5 games in the Spring Split Finals, Doublelift's former team got the better of him.
And CLG proved you can change the players, but the faith remains. And they're gonna walk to their 2nd consecutive North American LCS championship. What a beautiful play to put the faith on the rookie, the Rageblade Tristana from Stixxay. Put it all in his hands. Give him the rapid fire, give him the resets, and give him his first ever North American championship in his first season on CLG.
In my opinion, this iteration of the CLG roster is just infinitely better. Mindset is a lot better. Everyone is willing to accept criticism, and there's no really people feeling afraid to have a voice on the team, I would say.
Doublelift joined TSM in hopes of finally making a splash on the international stage. Instead, it was CLG who lifted the LCS Spring Trophy and secured a spot at MSI, all while throwing shade at him. And somehow, things were about to get even worse for Doublelift. While Doublelift was at home trying to move on from his spring split heartbreak, CLG made history at MSI. They shocked the world by becoming the first North American team to make it to the grand finals at a Riot-sanctioned international event. And to rub salt in the wound, it was Doublelift's rookie replacement, Stixxay, who led the charge.
Let's find out what damage can be done. Mata's taken a lot, but he's still in the front line with that unbreakable will. He's flashed on the way, hasn't found anything. Xiaohu's looking to find one back, but the cows already down. Darshan forced to flash defensively, and CLG are on the retreat. A very good stun for Counter Logic Gaming. A double kill for Stixay. He manages to 90 caliber net, finds the triple, looking for the quadra. Show who's running for his life. He gets one. Stixay shuts him down. It's a quadra kill for America.
CLG's performance at MSI 2016 suggested that maybe their decision to kick Doublelift wasn't as crazy as it initially seemed. Maybe they were better off without him. But if anything, that only motivated Doublelift to work harder during the summer split, to prove to them that they'd made a mistake. And once Biofrost replaced Yellowstar for the summer split, TSM looked unstoppable. They dominated the regular season, taking down every single team while only dropping 6 total games and 1 series. This was the team that everyone expected to see when Doublelift first joined forces with Bjergsen. But it turns out that they were just getting started. Once the playoffs rolled around, Doublelift was ready to get his revenge on CLG. TSM dominated them with a swift 3-0 victory, securing their spot in the summer split grand finals.
Darshan firing back with Xmithy, and they're able to slow the attack, but not stop the attack. The Nexus turrets fall at the same time. The focus is on the Nexus, and TSM will not be stopped as they take a 3-0 game. Xmithy again, like Darshan says, walk this way, away from the Nexus, but TSM will take it. They will head to Toronto, and they will challenge C9 for the finals of the NALCS Summer Split.
It just meant a lot. You know, my teammates have been practicing so hard for this moment. Like, ever since they lost to CLG, they've been practicing so hard, and they've been waiting for this moment to get revenge.
Doublelift was vindicated. He proved he could win without CLG, that he was more than good enough. But awaiting TSM in the grand finals was Cloud9. The historic NA powerhouse took a huge upset victory over Immortals, the team that dominated the regular season. Their ADC, Sneaky, had established himself as a Jhin god, and he looked unstoppable in the current meta. And although TSM had already qualified for Worlds, they still wanted to win it all, to go into Worlds as NA's best. This was the final test for Doublelift, winning an LCS title with TSM and showing the world that he was still the best AD carry in North America.
This is the time that if TSM can perform here how they have all split, they'd solidify themselves as the best team that North America has ever had. I mean, they have the macro, they have the micro, they're going everywhere, they work as a team. What does this team not do? It's insane, and to be honest, it's getting a lot of people very high for what the international stage brings.
But the grand finals against Cloud9 didn't exactly start out how Doublelift hoped.
So a lot of times you'll see the Sightstone or the Cinderhawk, but I understand the stagnant opponent and fights are happening.
Hawk's in a bad spot, but also a nice fight in the bot lane. The pillar catches Biofrost, who doesn't have a way out and just dies. Doesn't even pop the gray health, and now Doublelift's in danger. He's gonna go down. A double kill for Sneaky.
C9 2v2 outplay in the bot lane.
Gonna hit Smoothie, slowed down. There's a nice body slam in. Looks for Jensen, but the explosive cast does not put him into the team. So far, so good for Cassiopeia. Flashes out, stays alive, dodges the snipe, and the fight is in. Sneaky with a Hurricane looking for damage. There's a flash knockup. They're gonna go for Biofrost. That will be TSM's Canadian sword going down. They find one. They're looking for 2. Bjergsen's caught up. There's 2 for C9. 7-2 on the scoreboard right now, looking towards Baron. Turret number 2. 5 seconds on Hanser. Here comes the engage, and just barely Doublelift stays alive. But look at the damage up. He's already picked up Tom Kench. Here comes Hanser. Nexus turret still alive. Damage on Smoothie. They've already picked up 3, and suddenly C9 taking a little bit too slowly. Smoothie burning down. Hanser stays alive as well. Merlin helping certainly a little bit here. It's a 5 versus 2. The Solo's trying to keep it up. Bjergsen burning down. He's gonna lose his life. On the Nexus they go, and game 1 goes to Cloud9.
But TSM answered back, taking games 2 and 3, putting them on series point. And with the LCS summer title so close he could touch it, Doublelift locked in Lucian, despite the fact that other ADC champions like Jhin and Ashe had become much higher priority on that patch.
The X Factor is Brahmin Talia. Those are the new ones in. They've got engage tools. Okay, well, what does that mean for Doublelift's champion? Do you want something more agile? They covered Lucian earlier, the Vayne, and Lucian does come through. So something a bit more self-sufficient, something a bit more agile comes in. We will break out of that Ashe-Jhin dichotomy. Doublelift gets his pocket pick.
TSM took an early lead in Game 4, but Cloud9 refused to go down without a fight.
They certainly have to be careful. They have picked up double blue trinket to help circumvent that a little bit, but there's a fight breaking out.
When he begins, Meteos, Guardian Angel in the front line, taken out of health, and he's going to pop the GA. Svensker a bit low, but not low enough. Staying alive, flashes out with his life, and Meteos still at the chase, and one more pillar, one more shot. Doublelift takes him down. Now into the back line, Hanser dodging what he can, but Impact is certainly scary. Flash for the chase, a snipe from Sneaky, and now Bjergsen getting chain CC. The pool is on cooldown. A few more hits will do it. The house comes down, and a shutdown is in.
Doublelift is super low. And now you wonder if C9 is going to try and section these guys off. They're a supportless team. They do have the numbers advantage.
And Weaver's wall's still up. They can completely cut them off. Here comes the play. Meteos' Guardian Angel finds the front line. The knockback comes in. Doublelift gets the ulti in. Here comes the battle. Smoothie has to kite back. Shield is on. Sven's going to lose his Guardian Angel as well. And here comes the revive from Meteos. He's going to go down. Bjergsen down to half. Here comes the battle back as Sven's going to lose his life. Both junglers now dead. 4v3, but Smoothie's injured. They've got to be careful. Doublelift can clean it up. There comes the damage shot, but Smoothie's going to go down. Hanser staying alive. There's the Meganar. It's up to Impact. And Doublelift is the hero to Bjergsen. And he's going to use the Zonias. Now what's left for him? Jensen gets him. It's an ace for Cloud9.
Impact is a god in this series and this game. He is trying to solo carry.
Cloud9 took back the gold lead, and while everyone was still watching a replay of the team fight that did it, they secured Baron immediately after. They were in the driver's seat, slowly suffocating TSM by using the Baron buff to take more objectives around the map. And a minute later, TSM barely managed to hold off Cloud9 in a team fight top lane.
And we know Bjergsen can take these over, but they're trying to section them off.
Looking for the play. Svensker can't join yet. Double gets hit once. Jukes around Biofrost. Gonna take the last one, but still losing a fair bit of HP. That will be another turret picked up. Baron buff is now timed out though. So
here comes Sven.
Might want to commit. Here comes the play. Bjerg in the back line. A great ulti by Smoothie to separate them. And Impact
he got the ulti.
He's got a stun, but he doesn't quite catch Doublelift. That man's okay on the Lucian. Carpet comes out. Bit of a knockback. They've got the two tanks here, and Meganar is over, so now Impact's more DPS champion.
In goes Bjergsen.
They've gotten away. Bjergsen can't get quite enough, though, and they trade back and forth. Hemoplague ends. C9 still alive, but they've got to limp out of this one. Root's going to land on Biofrost. Once more, the engage and an Impact.
Just behind them.
Low. Looking for the play. Up Taunt coming across. Puts the Dock Zone in as well. Smoothie running out of HP. He's nearly dead, and Bjergsen gets one. The stun's not going to land. He popped the Zonias. C9 running out of health. They've got to run away from this one. Impact is nearly dead. Gets the boulder toss, and they get out only losing one.
They don't have enough damage to deal with Bjergsen. They have to back off. Such an intense fight there.
TSM's backs were against a wall. They needed a miracle to get them back into this game. As the clock kept ticking, C9 just needed to win one last team fight to push the series to a fifth and final game. And around the 40-minute mark, it seemed like they'd found their fight.
No Guardian Angel for Meteos, whereas TSM still have two.
The Weaver's Wall!
Weaver's Wall catches up a couple. Now can they have the follow-up damage? A couple of stuns come in. They've got Bjergsen, and they shut him down with a 1600 damage crit.
Can they get double?
Low. Meteos, another knockup, trades his life, but it does. Gets the GA. Double killing them all. Kills everybody. They've got three. Impact goes down. An ace for TSM.
Doublelift turns around the fight, staying alive. So much patience, bides his time, and he takes over.
In what seemed like an unwinnable situation, Doublelift made a miraculous play to turn it all around. But to understand just how ridiculous this play was, let's rewind a bit. Sneaky opened the fight with Jin's Curtain Call, dealing damage to TSM's front line and slowing them. His fourth and final shot even took down Biofrost, immediately putting TSM on the back foot. But Svenskeren used Gragas' explosive cask to isolate Smoothie from the rest of his team, allowing Doublelift to take down C9's support and even up the fight. From here, Jensen started zoning members of TSM off by using Talia's Unraveled Earth ability before placing what looked like a perfect Weaver's Wall, isolating Doublelift, TSM's main source of damage, out of the fight. With Doublelift out of the fight, TSM were easy pickings for Cloud9. C9's front line immediately stepped forward, jumping onto Bjergsen and Hanser, and Jensen used Seismic Shove to bring Bjergsen close enough for Sneaky to finish him off before he could really deal any damage. At this point, things looked completely doomed. C9 were about to pick off the rest of TSM and force the series to a game 5. But that's when Doublelift reminded everyone exactly why he's a legend. In order to understand how the rest of this play was even possible, you need to remember that Lucian's passive, Light Slinger, allows him to shoot off an extra auto attack 0.25 seconds after he uses any of his abilities. With his team getting picked apart in front of him, Doublelift was Cloud9's next target, and he nearly went down. Already on extremely low health, he avoided near certain death by sidestepping Sneaky's W, popping heal, and using Lucian's Relentless Pursuit to dash out of Impact's melee range while sending back 2 autos immediately after. Without an instant of hesitation, Doublelift popped Lucian's ult, the Culling, killing Impact and popping his Guardian Angel. Jensen tried flashing forward to close the gap, but instead just ended up eating more damage from the ultimate before the last few hits connected on Sneaky. Doublelift immediately flashed forward and popped his Yumu's Ghostblade, granting him additional movement speed and ensuring that Sneaky could not escape his wrath. Impact's Guardian Angel Resurrection made him a sitting duck surrounded by the remaining members of TSM, allowing them to complete the ace. Although only 2 kills went the way of Doublelift's Lucian, he was single-handedly responsible for turning that teamfight. He dealt a total of 11,000 damage. He truly put his entire team on his back. And that was the defining moment in the series, allowing TSM to get back into the game and eventually close things out.
The ceremonial taking of the Nexus turrets, nothing to stand in their way as TSM cement themselves as the most dominant organization in North American League of Legends and win their 4th North American Championship.
Despite a rocky start to the year, Doublelift proved that his decision to join Bjergsen and TSM was the right one, and their triumph in Toronto was the start of a new dynasty, further solidifying their spot as NA League of Legends' most storied organization. For many TSM fans, this roster remains a high point, a memory of the org's glory days, and it all started with one heroic outplay from one of North America's greatest ever players.
I could not have been prouder of my teammates. Like, everyone stepped up to the plate when it really mattered. Like, I'm super proud to be able to represent NA.
When it mattered most, Doublelift reminded all of us that every second, every ability, every auto attack can be the difference between losing and becoming a legend. On the next episode of Every Second Counts.
Has no flash, shots his punch, gets hit, there's the charm as well, and Faker might full burst in the finals of the finals.
Faker shows the world why he's called unkillable.
The unkillable Demon King, unkillable one more time.
Thanks for watching. If you want more content like this, hit the sub button and ring the notification bell. For unique bite-sized videos you won't find anywhere else, hit us up on our X, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.